Winning is a habit, and unfortunately, so is losing. And when I say losing, I mean losing in the game of life, which no one wants to do. Habits are activities that we do every day, and the more we do them, the stronger they become over time. The crazy thing about habits is that they usually happen subconsciously, which means we do them without even thinking about it. And it can be a good thing or a bad thing. Here are 6 bad habits no man should have. Number 1. Stop searching for the ideal image. How many times have you heard that women worry significantly more about their bodies than men do? Recent studies suggest that this is changing, with many males becoming significantly more concerned about their appearance than women, which is a frightening concept. Not long ago, the average male walked around with a massive beer belly and had body hair that resembled that of a gorilla. This is certainly not a fashionable look. However, today's males appear to be heading in the opposite direction. Many men are preoccupied with how they appear in the mirror. In reality, many guys today spend too much time in the gym and cram all kinds of strange and tested substances down their throats that promise things like increased testosterone, all in the name of achieving perfection. The issue is that many men have struggled with self-esteem and not like themselves, or have struggled with girls not finding them beautiful, possibly for the majority of their lives. When we have these issues, we tend to strive for perfection, or the flawlessly sculpted figure that we believe will finally earn us respect from men, and the attention we never received from the ladies. However, the cold hard truth is that body image doesn't matter all that much for males, and it never has. You obviously don't want to walk out in public with a large beer belly and hair covering every inch of your body. However, as males, we must break the habit of obsessing over the size of our muscles or whether or not we have flawless abs. 2. Being overly cheap. Now, believe me when I say that you don't want to be the guy that has to rely on others to get by in life. And you definitely don't want to be the guy who goes out to dine, orders a $100 meal, and then tips the waitress $2. If you had a particularly bad waiter, by all means tip them accordingly. However, if the meal and service were both excellent, a typical gratuity of 15 to 20% is appropriate. Consider doing something different that doesn't cost that much money if you don't have enough money to properly pay, and tip for a $100 supper. At the same time, you don't want to go to the other extreme and purposely flaunt your wealth in front of others, as this would make you appear needy for praise. When you have more than enough money to not be the man who is cheap. Being cheap means tipping $2 on a $100 supper or doing other similar things in comparable scenarios. 3. Avoid making misleading promises. Men only have 2 things in this world, according to a famous quote, our word and our balls. However, most guys unknowingly give up these 2 things on a daily basis, because it's something they've done before. When we give someone our word, we are informing them that we promise to do something and that we will. We are allowing another individual to place their trust in us, which helps them feel better. Our word needs to mean something to us as men. Nobody will ever take us seriously if this happens. The men you admire right now are most often the ones who, when they say they'll do something, you know they'll follow through. If I ever find myself in a difficult circumstance, I need friends who, when they say they have my back, I know deep down that they do. It's a bad habit to claim you're going to do something and then not follow through. As a result, don't make promises you can't keep and stick to your word. 4. Taking care of your nails. When I was younger, there was a boy in my class who never clipped his fingernails. He never fully modified this behavior as he grew older. We can't blame his nails directly for why people were staring at him strangely. But the bottom issue is that men have short nails and women have long nails. In actuality, what do most females do to make themselves appear more feminine or girly? The solution is that they go to the nail salon and have their nails done, then have their real nails covered with fake ones that are an inch or longer when they leave. Shaking your hand with 2 long fingernails is one of the most embarrassing things a guy can do. If you've ever tried to play sports or do pretty much anything that males do on a regular basis, you'll know that having long, untidy fingernails is a bad habit to have. 5. Excessive smartphone use. I, like everyone else, adore my smartphone, and the current smartphone has dramatically transformed our life. However, every coin has 2 sides, or technology has a dark side. The downside of our phones is that they make it very simple to disconnect from reality. So, unless they're being followed by a lion or something, 90% of younger men and women these days are always gazing down at their phone. And even then, they're probably Googling how fast lions can run while fleeing away from it. Smartphones are fantastic and improve many aspects of our lives, but wise men know when to put them down. In most social circumstances, this is practically any occasion when you're with other people. 6. Eating like a beast. Almost everyone has witnessed how animals, particularly dogs, eat and drink water. You're already aware that a dog on the other side of your property is drinking water. There have been days when I went all day without eating and then came home and ripped through a massive plate of tacos with no regard for how I appear to others. However, this is an exception. It's the small things that distinguish high-class men from low-class guys, and something as simple as how you eat your meal or your table manners may make a big impact. Now, anytime you're eating, keep your mouth closed and don't eat too quickly, especially if you're around other people, because we, as guys, have a proclivity to devour food as soon as it is placed in front of us. It's helpful to think of eating as a social activity or a time to interact with other people rather than a task to be completed quickly, because no man wants to be the guy who unintentionally spits a chunk of food at the waitress because he's chatting with his mouth full. As a result, I usually make an effort to finish chewing before speaking. So, because I'm the type of man who always eats too quickly, imagining myself eating in slow motion has always helped me with this.